Hello and welcome to another video where I finally show you how to combine two very different HM2 sounds. If you are a regular viewer of my channel or even a subscriber, and I highly suggest and recommend subscribing to this channel, so please do, you have realized that I've quickly changed my way of reviewing pedals. Because first I started, I'm speaking of chainsaw pedals, I started by reviewing them only in front of a distorted amp. And then I made a video, where do I plug the HM2 into? And I've tried different settings in front of a clean amp, in front of a driven amp. And well, for me, the answer was kind of obvious. I highly prefer my sound coming from an amp with a driven sound. But lots of you guys actually prefer the HM2 in front of a clean sound. And those two sounds are very different. But I thought, well, what about combining? And that's what we're doing today. First of all, I show you different ways how to combine or connect your pedals to get two sounds. And after that, I do an example. A few things. First, you need, of course, an HM2 pedal or two, as I will show later. And you almost always need some kind of splitter box or AB box or so. This can be, for instance, a very normal splitter box. This one I use for all my EQ curve comparisons, has one input, two outputs and volume for each. Or you use a looper pedal and basically the send will act as your second output. Or you use any kind of stereo pedal with one input and two outputs. Some delays have it, or some tuners have it as well. And for most of the signal change I'm showing you, you need another drive pedal. And this drive pedal should work as a preamp. So for instance, you could use the Digitech Metal Master. This is known to work well as a preamp in front of the FX loop or even directly into a cap IR. Or of course the famous Boss MT2. Those are two rather inexpensive pedals, but you can also use any kind of preamp that you have. I, for instance, have the Pippa's Pedal Bare Metal Fury here. It's as well a preamp pedal. So with this said, let me show you how to connect the pedals. So instead of showing you real amps, real pedals, real cabinets and all the cables, I'm using this X-Edit layout because it's very easy to visualize what I'm actually doing. So the first way to combine a clean HM2 sound and a dirty HM2 sound would be if you have two complete independent tones. So that's your guitar goes into a splitter box of some kind, and from there it goes to the first chain, which is the clean HM2. So this is our HM2, then we have a clean amp and we have a cabinet for the clean amp. And the other way would be the dirty HM2 chain, which goes to our driven amp and to its cabinet. So two independent, this gives me OCD. Two independent tone stacks, a total control of your sound. However, this is of course very expensive. Another way to save at least a bit money would be if you just use one HM2. You put it in front of your splitter box and then you go to the amps from there. So it's HM2, split box and then two independent amps. So this is as well very pricey and very heavy when you consider you have to carry 2 amps and 2 cabinets. So, well, we can do it with 1 amp. So for 1 amp you go to your splitter box, and with this split box you connect it to 2 different HM2s, however you want to have it, and the one of those goes into the amp, and the amp is set to a clean sound, and the other HM2 goes to a drive pedal, another drive pedal. This time you have to dial it in as a preamp, and from there it goes to the effect return. So now this drive pedal basically emulates the driven amp, and the amp itself is the clean amp. But you can even reduce this setup more. You can spare one of those HM2s. When we do the same thing we did previously, we set the HM2 in front, and the mixer goes to the driven pedal, which goes into the FX return, and to our clean amp that goes, and both go straight to the cab. So there actually is one other solution without a mixer, but this highly depends on your drive pedal that you have. So you do a classic chain without the mixer. We have our HM2 pedal, then we go to the drive pedal, and we go to the clean amp. We don't need an FX loop. And to the cab. This will work, but only if this drive pedal has a blend control where you can blend in a clean signal. So you have to turn mix to taste, well, if your drive pedal has this. So with this said, let's hear how this actually sounds. And I'm using a setup with 1 amp, 1 drive pedal, and 1 HM2. So for a sound demo I chose the smallest setup that I could think of, which is the Arion Metal Master. This is my only HM2 clone which has 2 outputs, so I don't have to use any AB pedal or looper pedal or whatever. And one of the outputs goes into the clean channel of the Porritt Smith MT15. And the other output goes into the Metal Zone MT2W Wasserkraft, and this goes into the FX loop of the MT15. Currently I've disconnected the MT2, so we're just hearing the clean channel. And so first of all I'll dial in a sound with the clean channel. So first clean, then HM2, and well, when I have something ready I'll let you know. Okay, this will be the clean HM2 sound, and now I'll disconnect the clean channel and dial in a sound with the MT2W. So here's the FX loop on its own. As you can hear, it's quite loud and already distorted, but I think I can compensate with the MT2W, so let me dial in a nice distortion tone with it. So I think this sounds quite okay. Now I'll connect both inputs and I'll show you how it sounds when I, well, have a clean channel and a distorted channel in parallel. So now I have my two volume controls. They act as a blend control. Here I can blend in more of the clean signal and here I can blend in more of the distorted channel. Well, let's turn them both full down, activate HM-2. I think I'll get some noise because I have the noise gate included. And well, just listen. So what do you think about this sound? Did you like it or do you prefer just the unique sound in front of the driven amp or in front of the clean amp? As for me, I was really impressed how much the different tones add to each other or how well they sound combined. The distorted amp had this aggressiveness and this nastiness, but the clean sound gave it a bit more clarity and way more balls to the sound. So it added huge amounts of low end. Obviously, I could change the EQ setting, maybe dial in the distorted sound a bit more trebly and the clean sound a bit more bass heavy. But you have to find out for yourself based on the equipment that you have. For instance, with my equipment, I didn't think it sounded this good when I dialed back the treble on the clean amp or the bass on the driven amp, but that's just my gear. So anyways, let me know down in the comment section what do you think about this approach. And as always, thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, may the force be with you and Have a nice day.